Hello guys. Olight PL1vn version 2 Valkyrie. Alright? This is a gun light, and in order to demonstrate this light effectively, I'm going to have it mounted on two of the guns we have on the table, an H&K Sub and Compact P30SK to be exact, and an M&P full size. We'll check the fitment and the handling, but before we get into all of that, safety first, let's clear the guns before we move on. Alright? Drop the magazine. I'm gonna lock back the gun, physically look down the chamber, is clear. Alright. Look down the chamber, is clear, no magazine in the gun. Alright. Both locked back, leave in front of us, and then let's unbox. Alright, so paper box, manual. It comes with one CR123 primaries, 3-volt battery, couple of screws, a mounting bracket, and an Allen wrench, okay, and a user manual. So let's leave this right here, and here's the light itself, alright? Let's talk a little bit about spec and get that out of the way. This light from the factory puts out with an XPL dome on 6500 Kelvin. It puts out with my measurements, okay? For my test, I didn't use a CR123. I used an IMR 16340, so a little bit more output, alright? And for some reason, from the factory, with that cell, I measured only 414 lumen. So I don't know, alright? I didn't measure it with the CR123, but I imagine the CR123 put out less output than an IMR 16340. But even with a 16340, I only measure 1414 lumen. So that's kind of low, but that's what it is, alright? With a power boost, the same factory LED with a power boost, and the IMR 16340, I got 540 lumen. So it went from 414 to 540. And even at 540 lumen, the lux was only 5K lux, so it didn't throw very well. This light, I'm going to tell you right now, if you're looking for a pistol thrower, this is not it, okay? Even when I put in an XPL D-Dome LEDs, I only got 9K lux. So it went from 5K lux to 9K lux, right? Not that, it's about double the lux, the hotspot intensity. But 9K lux is still not really good throw, okay? But then, actually looking at the reflector it's kind of deep, it's kind of smooth, it just doesn't throw very well. I don't really know why it doesn't really throw more than 9K lux, alright? And with the D-Dome LED though, you do lose output. With the dome on, you have 540 lumen. With the D-Dome, it drops all the way down to 420 lumen in this reflector, this setup. That's a lot of drop. So think hard. Do you want to lose that much output? Basically, even with the power boost, if you D-Dome the LED, you get the same amount of lumen as the factory light, except you have about twice the hotspot intensity. Alright. So now that we got all the numbers out of the way, let's pop in a battery and check for operation, alright? And I'll just demonstrate the user interface with the stock battery. Because it's not like when I do a video here, it's not like you can see the difference in output anyway, so it doesn't really matter what battery I use. The version 1 had a blue light down here, this one doesn't. The version 2 doesn't. It has better heat sinking, which I don't really think it needs, because it doesn't put out too much output to worry about lumen. So it has two switches, left and right, okay? And no matter what angle you push on it, it will activate, which is neat. So one click to turn on, one click to turn off, one to turn. That's just how it is. Left and right, you can activate it either one, and it'll just a single click always turns it on and off. If you press on both at the same time, you get strobe. All right, so touching it from one side only will always get you single mode, and that is it. You don't have anything else. All right, no matter what you do, it's only on off. Both switch at once, you get strobe, which is a very nice user interface. all right? Because honestly, on my personal gun light here, I'll show you in a bit, I only have high and strobe. Always turn on at high. This one, you don't have a choice. Single, on the switch here, you always get high only, and both you get strobe. Okay, so good user interface. The rail here goes in and out with this tab, right? Let's talk about build quality for a little bit here. This is definitely not Surefire's quality. All right, the anodization is okay, decent. The back here is made out of plastic, not the toughest plastic ever. The rubber switch is a very nice design. I gotta give that to them. Overall, it looks okay. It just doesn't look Surefire quality. But again, this thing is like $90 for the modded version. So I don't know what the stock price on this is, but the modded version is only $9. If you get an X400 or an X300, I think it's about $250, $300. I think the X400 is like $400. So there's a big price difference. So we're not going to compare prices here, but obviously this is not Surefire quality, but it's not Surefire price either. It's a quarter of the Surefire price, right? It gets the job done and is a decent light. All right, so now that we talked about the UI, let's have it mounted on one of the guns. Here in my hand, I have the H&K P30SK, right? This is a subcompact. It has 3 rails here, right? Picatinny rail. And I try to mount this light onto this gun, and it doesn't fit because here's the issue. Olight made the mounting bar of this the bar here that goes into the Picatinny rail way too forward. Oh, by the way, the rail here, on it says GL, and I think that stands for Glock. And then on the other one, it says 1913, so that probably fit a different type of, it's a fatter rail. And it seems like this fatter rail is probably a better suited with my H&K, actually. Ah, 1913 rail. Yeah, this is right. So the 1913 fits this little piece of plastic right here that goes into the middle of the light here. Fits better into my H&K, right? And it fits better. Oh, it fits great with the M&P full size also. The one that is built into the light, it says GL. I imagine that stands for Glock. It has a very small width, so it doesn't really fit this light very well. But that's not really an issue right now. I don't have a Glock to demonstrate. Yeah. So the back to the subcompact. It doesn't reach. The reason it doesn't reach is because this mounting bar, okay, is way too far forward. If it was back rearward, near the end of the light here, it would have fit on this light. It would have fit on the most forward slot here. See that? It could have fit, but it didn't fit because they put this rail way too far forward. All right? So this light, as it stands, does not work on this subcompact, and that's really too bad. Because I would really like to use this light on this gun, this subcompact. I don't know if any other subcompact out there would actually fit this light due to the fact that the bar is so far forward. It's not that far forward really because it's kind of all the other light didn't. I have Surefire that doesn't fit on this light either. The X300, the X400 doesn't fit on this light either. So it's not really this. It's an isolate fault for this light. It would just be nice if this thing fit further back so that it will fit on more lights, I suppose. Okay. At least it doesn't fit on this light. So that's the whole point of bringing out the subcompact. This M&P full size here, being a full size, it better fits. And let's see if it does. And being a full size, it fits. But amazingly, it only fits on the furthest slot here, right? So it barely makes it, okay? See how it locks in? Even though the rail is smaller, the bar in the middle of the light here is smaller than the rail, it still fits. It still locks pretty well. I would definitely, wow, it locks really well, even though it's smaller. I would definitely put in the 1913 fatter rail here though, all right? So, no magazine again. we safety checked, right? So this light fits very well on this gun, on this particular full-size M&P, and it locks in very well, okay, in the operation. So works very well. I have smaller hands, so it's harder for me to reach the button, okay? But if I have it mounted on this gun, I would activate it with my thumb on the left here, right? On, off. And if I wanted to turn on turn on strobe, I would just squeeze it with my left hand. That's how I would manipulate this gun. I'm not here to show you how to manipulate your gun tactically. That's your choice. But that's how I would operate this light on this gun. Just manipulate it with my thumb. And it turns on and off very well. Okay? And then just double hit, tap both of the buttons at the same time. You have strobe. And for the most part, is decently bright. I imagine it has good run time because of the lower output. So that's that. It's a good light. It's pretty simple. There's nothing much to it. Just be sure that if you're getting one of these, you kind of have to have a full-size gun, all right? If you have a subcompact, maybe a compact might fit. I'm not sure. I don't have a Glock 19 compact here, but so full-size for sure. Compact, I don't know. Subcompact, forget about it, all right? And there's a quick release here, which is really nice. You just pull the tap and it falls off. So that's a really nice... well, it has its own merits. If you flip it, it's easy to attach and release. However, let's see how easily it is to get detach. So if I have it mounted on this gun, and if I'm running around, and if this tap accidentally somehow gets snapped on, and it snapped the other way, this thing can fall off. On Surefires, you actually have to screw it onto the gun. So it can take recoil, whatever, it'll lock into the gun and it won't come out. But on this gun, it locks in easily, but it also unlocks easily if this tab right here gets snagged. So that is kind of a positive and kind of a negative. Depends on how you view it. So, what do you do if this... if the PL1vn does not fit your gun? This is what I would do. I would get a E14VN, like the one I have here, or a Skylumen SL2 compact, alright? Both has roughly about an inch body, and it'll fit really nice in this Olight mount. This is an Olight WM25 side mount, right? So this is how I mount. This is the only way for me to install a gun light onto my P30SK. And here, there's the rail, the bar in the middle here. It fits, that bar fits in with this groove. So if I untighten the rails here, put this in the gun, and then tighten it up. Everything is harder when you have a camera pointing at you. So there, it stays affixed on the gun very well. And because it's a screw-on, it stays on, dare I say, more secure than the tab. Because there's this, you can accidentally snag it. Not likely, because if you check here, there's an indent, and the tab stays, half of it actually stays inside of this concave indent. So it's not really easy to snag on, but it can be. Alright? This, although doesn't look very nice, it doesn't really fit in a holster. There's not really any kind of holster that's going to fit a side light. And it looks kind of ridiculous. But it's okay for me. This is a bedstand light. I don't care if it looks ridiculous. It works. Alright? And with this kind of a side mount, I can activate the light the same way. With my left hand. So it depends on you're left-handed or right-handed. You can move the attachment here left and right. I'm right-handed, so I would manipulate the light like that. And I really like this side mount because I can install different light, different LEDs, and different output. And this thing right here would put out north of 2,000 lumen. if I needed it to. All right. So back to this PL1vn. I can't make up my mind if I really like it. I don't really know if I like it or not because it only fit on my M&P full size, not my other gun. And I don't really like how the tap can be, I know I keep on talking about it, but I think it could be a big liability in a tactical situation. I don't know, I haven't really snagged on anything, but I haven't really been using it enough to know it would actually snag, okay? Here's what I would do, okay? If I were to get the PL1 and use it tactically, if this was my personal light, here's what I would do. This tab right here, for some reason, is covered with a heat shrink tubing. Like, they didn't went to the extent of actually making a rubber boot over it. They wrapped it with heat shrink tubing, and it seemed just really budget. I don't know why they did that, but that's what they did, all right? But here's what I would do. I would physically cut down this tab so that it is half the length, right? And then it'll work the same. All you gotta do is just use your nails, and it's not sticking out that far for you to grip it and unleash it or detach it, right? I would just cut it down halfway and make it a lot smaller, and it'll still clip. And if you really need it, use your nails or a pry bar or whatever, removing it. When you want to take off your light, you have plenty of time. You just don't want the light to come off when you're in a tactical situation. And if it's half short, it doesn't snag on anything. There's no way that it can snag on anything, and you can easily use your nails to pry it out, right? That's what I would do. That's what I think Olight should have done from the beginning to make that tab extra short and not just chilling out there that big. Aside from that little flaw, I think it's a very good gun light. So that's that. And it's kind of large for a single CR123 light. It's kind of large and doesn't really throw. Okay. That's enough negative for this light. I'm sure it's a good light. It should work very well. But it just seems like I'm pulling out more negatives than positive. But hey, you know, I have to have reviews that are negative, and I have reviews where I just rave. And this is just one of those where I haven't gotten a lot of hands-on experience, but just from playing around with it, it can be improved. All right, output wise, okay, just the tab, and that's that. All right. I do want to mention again that I think the 450 lumen is might be a little high from a factory light with CR123A. Just putting out there, all right? Because even with the boosted version, I only reach 540. So, thank you.